It's your boy iDef, and I am back with another review for you guys. And this time we have a Beast Kingdom Batman from Batman Begins. Yeah, I didn't really pay attention when I got it. I wasn't sure which movie it was supposed to be from, but it's from the first movie. But it's pretty snazzy little box, if you ask me. But got a couple image shots on the back. And then I don't think there's really much going on the bottom, like any box, like it's not, you know. And then, excuse that, a little bit of dust and stuff up there. Haven't even had this that long, that's crazy. But yeah, it's a pretty nice like box. You can't see much inside, and it's kind of like this with the Michael Keaton one I got too. Like the cape covers them, which I feel like was deliberate. Like, but also it's kind of funny. Those are kind of loose in there, so they're kind of like jumbled up, which is not a big deal either. I think that's funny. But yeah, these were way cheaper at Walmart than even the ones online. I think are more expensive, but generally these are like closer to 100 whatever. When I first started seeing this brand, I thought they were like a third party that was just being really ballsy, and they were just not caring that they were using the trademark names. But no, like they're at Walmart, so I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see what they're about. I don't think they have toe articulation, and I'm kind of thinking these are somewhat like Mezco, maybe with less accessories. But I'm gonna hope it's good. I'm also not 100% sure what scale these are, but we'll figure it out as we run them through the little iDef system, of course. Is the figure in good shape? Does the figure function as intended? Everything that's included with the figure, plus scaling, and then just my final thoughts. Usually a little pose at the end when I'm talking about it too, unless I forget. Alright, so here he is out of box. Before we get into that though, I wasn't paying attention. It actually says right here, he's 1/9 scale. And you know what that means? He doesn't scale with fucking anything, bro. To my knowledge, I'm exaggerating here. Please understand that, but I literally, this is the first time I've ever even seen a 1/9 scale. So I guess they just scale with their brand. Maybe there's a few other obscure brands. I don't know. I guess they're not technically obscure anymore because you can find these at Walmart. But wow, I'm not gonna lie. I should have realized how big the figure was when I got it. And I'm not gonna lie to you. The negativities don't stop there. Is the figure in good shape? He's got a lot of loose joints, if I'm going to be honest. Like, a lot. There's also just kind of a lot of QC issues going on. Let's go up in there more. I think his ankle, it's kind of got that peg thing going on where it sticks out too far. But yeah, he also has this weird thing where his knee catches right there. There's just a whole lot of stuff going on with him. As far as paint though, he looks really good, and just everything else, he looks fine. This is loose fitting. It's not broken or anything. It's just kind of how it's supposed to sit on there. I don't think it's broken. That comes off a little easier than I'd like, and I found that out because I was trying to see how far he posed. That seemed a lot more forceful than it actually takes to get it to come off though. Like when you're bending it, it'll pop right off, but yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna say he's in decent shape. I've gotten more expensive figures that were in similar shape, so I can't like rack on him too hard. But oh, you know what? There's a little bit of paint going on here that sucks, but it's whatever, dude. The main thing that sucks really though is I don't know if it's broken or if this is just how it's supposed to be, but the wire isn't anchored to anything, so you know what I mean? Like, you can do some stuff with it, but you have to be pretty good at that kind of stuff, which I'm not. I don't have a lot of experience with it, so it's kind of hard to work with. But it is a pretty big cape. I'm sure you could somehow fix that or whatever. But anyways, does the figure function as intended? We'll start at the head like we always do. I think it's kind of funny they did this, but at the same time, why? I don't want to push it much further than that. You can't really look up, and you'll get a lot of gap if you do. You can look down a little bit, so at least you can have them kind of brood, but I don't know. Not too good there. He has a lot of, like, you know, kind of a butterfly thing going on there. very gappy though. I don't know if you can really see that on camera alone. But it's just all blacked out. It's very hard to see in there, but kind of a gap, but it's a little hard to see on camera. You should see it. There you go. You can kind of just see there inside, just a ball joint, but brother, like it came out so easy, but going back in was like kind of struggling. That was weird. Yeah, the more I've messed with this, the more loose it is on there too. That kind of sucks. But anyways, sorry, got a little distracted there. It gets about a T-pose. It's not too bad. You can get a little bit of crossover. It's not great. He's got bicep, and then he's got like how a lot of import and like higher end figures, like arm joints look. It's kind of like that going on. But it's a good bend. And then he's just got a ball joint there, which, you know, it's always good. Nothing to complain about there. It moves decently. The hands aren't too hard to take off. I don't know, I'm showing you on camera on this part, but putting it back on can be a little because they're a little loose, but he's not really bending a lot, if I'm being real with you. Oh, no, brother. He just does not have a lot of bend. You get a little bit of side, but this does a whole lot of bending. It feels ugly back here, but and then you get a little bit of twist at the waist, but it is actually pretty limited. But you can push it, but I don't know. He does have drop down, which is cool. Try to use it straight up, no drop down. Oh, sorry, a little off camera. I'm not used to this bigger figure. But that's not too bad. Like, that's one of the more impressive things about the figure, in my opinion. And then, it's not a terrible bend. It's not great though either. He also has ball jointed ankles, which are not bad. They don't look great, but they do the job. Pretty loose, I will say, but they also turn. And then he's got some toe articulation, which I appreciate, but the rest of the figure doesn't hold up enough for that to matter. So whatever, a stand really would have really helped. Oh, I forgot. You do have a little bit of twist in there too, by the way. Like, he doesn't have a thigh cut, but he can get some twist. But I also must just say the overall profile of the figure is kind of awkward, in my opinion. I don't know if that's just me, but I find him to look almost a little bit lanky, and there's just something kind of off about it. I couldn't tell you exactly what, but yeah, this is the first one, so again, this is where I get very subjective with my opinions. I'm gonna say it doesn't function as intended, because no, it flops a lot, but it looks really good. And also, I don't know if I even necessarily said, I'm not gonna say the figure's in good shape either, really, to be fair, but whatever. For everything that's included with him though, besides these fist hands, I hope you guys are able to see these. These are kind of like just grabbing hands, like for whatever object. And then he has two kind of pistol grippy hands. And then I don't know if these are for grabbing something or for holding one of his accessories or just relaxed. You use them for whatever, but they're good hands nonetheless. But and then I thought this was funny. Oh, if I can grab it. Sorry. He's got his little batterings, which is cool. I'm not complaining about the battering itself. They look good. But for some reason, instead of putting like 3 in there, they only put 2. I'm having a lot of trouble grabbing the other one. You don't need to see them both, but just so you know, I'm not lying to you. Oh, also, you know what? That is a little bit lame. They're just kind of flat on the backside, like, yeah, whatever. That's not that big of a deal. There's actually stuff like that in real life too. It's not like it's not a real thing, but anyways, he's got his grapnel gun, which painted nice. Looks good. Then also, I think this is the little bomb he uses at the end of the movie when he's on the train with Ra's al Ghul, if I remember correctly. Because I saw it at first and it reminded me for some reason of like the big one in the third one, and I was like, wait, no, that doesn't make sense. But anyways, that's everything it comes with. Honestly, the accessories are cool. Like, I think that's a good part of this figure line or whatever. But yeah, I don't think we really need to do any scaling with him for the most part. But I will show you a few. Here he is with the Mafex, the Dark Knight Batman, and like, you see how big he is? This is a massive figure. He's really just deadass not going to scale with anything. It's crazy. Here he is with the Marvel Legends Game Reverse Spider-Man 2 Venom, which he kind of looks live action if you want to do some weird like multiverse, otherworld, type beat. If you want to pose some figure, like this kind of works. Like, it's hyper specific, but again, he's a big figure, but he's too big. Why did they make him so big? All right, for my final thoughts, I'm not gonna recommend this. I'm like, at least not until I review the next one, because this thing has so many QC issues. Now, if they're not QC issues, that's an even bigger problem. But from what I want to understand, this is not a good representation of how these figures are supposed to be. However, again, he looks good, and despite loose joints, this was actually really easy to get to work. I was gonna try and do like a fighting pose, but I couldn't really find a good still shot from the movie of him fighting, so I just kind of went with the gargoyle pose. You'll find it if you look up stuff from the movie. Anyways, it's not bad. This is about as far down as you can get in a crouch though, which not too bad, but yeah, man, I don't know. At the price point, it's a really big scale. The articulation is kind of mid. It doesn't feel worth it just because he has a cape to me. Like, you know what I mean? It is a nice cape, though, I will say. Like, if you know how to do stuff with the fabric and like fix that and even put it on a different Batman, like, imagine this on an even smaller Batman. That would be fucking sick. But I just overall, he just doesn't really fill any gap in my collection, or I don't know. It's still Christian Bale Batman. He is really cool. I don't need him. I need a 112 is what I really need, and one with better articulation. But if you really need something to scratch the itch, and especially if you're willing to deal with these issues and fix them, whatever, you could even modify him and make him even better too. He's a workable figure. It's just, it's not enough for what I need it to be. You know what I mean? But I think that's it. Think about